Ibrahim, doctor in quotations.
Hello, Dr. T here.
Yeah, Dr. T here. And he is from Ibrahim Strategies Group and does all our social media stuff. So I need to give you guys some backstory to this because this is kind of crazy. So I was asked during one of the lives about the Tdap vaccine. And what I said very clearly, I'm going to say it again because there's a lot of hoopla out there, is that all the guidelines say that you should be recommending the Tdap vaccine. And the reason for that is it does actually protect babies from getting pertussis. And somewhere around 13 to 14 per million babies will end up hospitalized and quite ill. And 1 per million babies will actually die. And should any babies die? No, no babies should die. Now, you can all go take that information, make whatever decision you want. But we do want everybody to know the information and make an informed decision. From that, there was a whole bunch of debate, and like 220,000 people have looked at that post now. And there was all this debate. And then somebody said, of course, there's all the people saying vaccines are evil and we're killing everybody. And I don't care about the vaccines. I'm not going to get into that right now. But somebody said, and vitamin K too. And I was like, whoa, hold up. Because vitamin K is completely safe, number one. It is not a vaccine, which a lot of people don't seem to understand. And babies need vitamin K. So then everybody came out of the woodwork telling me I should lose my license for saying vitamin K is necessary. And then people making all sorts of insane claims that have absolutely nothing to do with vitamin K. Because vitamin K is safe, and they're thinking there's all these ingredients in there, and there's this in there, and there's that in there. And so tonight we're going to do a deep dive into vitamin K to help all those of you that, politely speaking here, got unhinged by the mere mention of vitamin K.
So I have it at the bottom of the video right now.
Yeah.
We're talking vitamin K.
We're talking vitamin K. I like that. Yeah. Okay. That's awesome, man. Okay. So let's just begin. And I'm sorry, some of this is actually funny. After this show, Tarek and I are going to make a mean tweets video about all the nasty, horrible things people said about me because I'm trying to protect babies from having a stroke. Okay. So here we go. So what is vitamin K? Vitamin K is a vitamin. It's a vitamin. Okay. Which is needed for the clotting factors in your blood to work properly. If you don't have enough vitamin K, you bleed. It's given to adults in trauma situations, patients with liver failure, anybody who's in an acute trauma situation, something like that, because it helps your blood clot. It does come with a black box warning. And everybody said, it comes with a black box warning. Of course, it comes with a black box warning. If you give it to someone in a trauma situation, when they're already basically dying, there's going to be risks. And it does cause clotting. And sometimes in those trauma situations, the clotting is as risky as the bleeding is. So there's a black box warning about that. It had zero to do with babies. How many babies have died from vitamin K administration? Zero. Zero. For all those of you who keep saying it's killing babies, there are 0 baby deaths from vitamin K. None. So you can argue all you want, but there are no vitamin K related baby deaths. That's number one. Why is it needed? Well, because in pregnancy, very little vitamin K goes through the placenta. The baby doesn't make enough vitamin K, and its gut can't get enough vitamin K from absorption because it hasn't established its own microbiome early on or even later on, and it's not getting enough vitamin K from mom's breast milk. So it starts with very little, it continues to have very little. And for all those of you that said, it's going to be in the breast milk, that's all that it needs, God made babies perfect. Yeah, no, that didn't happen. I'm a firm believer in God. I am devoutly religious. I got to start fasting in a couple of days for my religion. And I still know categorically, scientifically, the babies are born sick all the time. Babies are born deficient in things all the time. Babies need help all the time. No baby is born perfect. It's just never happened. Okay. No baby is born perfect. Babies need help. That's why they have doctors and nurses and pediatricians and NICU docs and bucket loads of equipment and procedures to help babies. So babies need vitamin K. Why do they need vitamin K? Because if the baby can't clot, the baby is at risk for complications. And we call these vitamin K dependent bleeding, VKDB. So there's 3 kinds. There's early, which happens in the first 24 hours. There's classic, which happens between sort of 1 day to about a week or 2. And then there's late, which happens anywhere from that first week all the way out to 6 months, with the peak incidence of major problems being between 2 weeks and 8 weeks. So these are all babies being breastfed theoretically, but they're still having bleeds. The breastfeeding doesn't work, people. So stop screaming at me saying breastfeeding will fix it. It doesn't fix it. Babies that are exclusively breastfed with nothing else over the first 6 months of their life are actually at the highest risk for VKDB, proven in multiple studies, because they can't absorb the vitamin K from the breast milk. Okay? So stop screaming at me in posts saying breast milk will do the job. Breast milk doesn't do the job. Okay? So, how many babies does this actually affect? Important question. Somewhere between 250 to 1,700 babies out of 100,000, so not a lot, will get the early kind, less than 24 hours. And for the classic and the late, it's somewhere between 10.5 to 80 per 100,000 babies. This is not a lot of babies. I'm not saying that it's a lot of babies, but many of them can have a stroke. So we're not just talking about minor complications, the ones that get moderate and severe complications. And I'm going to give you some terrifying stats at the end of this. Will have a neonatal stroke, okay, with all of the complications, including death, that follow through from that. So then everybody started screaming, it's got aluminum. And one lunatic said it's got animal DNA and human DNA and it's got hydrochloric acid and blah. Okay, so let's just go through the actual list of ingredients. So there's two kinds.
Wait, I think it's a good time to share.
Oh, yeah. Call out all the people. That
Call them out. This is the time.
Yeah.
Tell your friends.
Please tell your friends about this discussion. So there's two kinds of vitamin K that we give. There's one that has no protectants in it, like preservatives, and there's one that does have preservatives. And we're going to talk about each of those. So the one without preservatives has 4 ingredients aside from the vitamin K. So the same unhinged individual said there were 65 ingredients in it. There are not 65 ingredients. There are 5 ingredients. So the first one's vitamin K. It's synthetic. It's almost identical to the natural one. There's no difference in outcomes. No babies have ever been harmed from a vitamin K injection. You can argue all you want. You can say, I don't know what I'm talking about. There is not a single article anywhere in the literature showing any association between any adverse outcome and vitamin K, except for one baby in history that had an anaphylactic reaction and survived the reaction. Okay. So there's no harm from vitamin K. It has polyoxyethylated fatty acid derivative. Sounds terrible, right? Except it's actually part of castor oil and it's derived from castor oil, which lots of people use for lots of natural medicinal purposes and value, right? So that's not harming anybody. It's got dextrose. Whoa, dextrose? Yeah, that's called sugar, people. That's nothing. And it's got benzyl alcohol in it, which can cause, admittedly, a little bit of local irritation when it comes into contact with your skin. It's used as a preservative, and it may contain a minuscule amount of hydrochloric acid for pH balancing. Now, is hydrochloric acid toxic? Because somebody else yelled at me about that one too. Your whole body is chock full of hydrochloric acid. It's in every cell of your body, and it's the main content of your stomach where it's used to break down stuff. So the minuscule amount used to balance the pH in this has absolutely zero impact on anything in your system, including in a baby system. Zero. Not like, oh, it could do something. No, it actually has zero impact. Now, admittedly, the one without preservatives does have some stuff in it that's a little bit odd. It's got polysorbate 80, which is in salad dressing that you're eating and also in makeup and all sorts of other products. So if you're eating it, it's not the end of the world. And it's got propylene glycol. So everybody's going to say, oh my God, there's antifreeze. Okay, no. Propylene glycol is part of antifreeze because it helps the antifreeze stay in the mixture that it's in. But it's actually just an emulsifier, which allows you to mix a liquid with an oil so that they can work together. And the vitamins are oil-based, so they have to be in an oil form. Okay? It's completely harmless on its own. It's been shown in European studies. For those of you that said Europe is better, it's been used safely in North America and Canada and the US. Nobody's complaining about propylene glycol when used in very little amounts. And it has sodium acetate anhydrous, which is vinegar. Okay, so before you all start freaking out about all this, The ingredients are safe. Now, somebody turned around and said, it's got aluminum in it. So I looked it up. The only aluminum in the vitamin K shot is actually coming from contaminant in the air or in the instruments that are being used when it's made. The actual amount has been measured as a maximum of 0.05 milligrams. The amount of aluminum in breast milk that a baby gets per day is approximately 0.1 milligrams. So you're getting 20 times the amount of aluminum in breastfeeding that you're getting from the vitamin K shot. And then before you all jump out there and say, well, it's a different type of aluminum. No, there's only one type of aluminum. Please stop freaking out and trying to make excuses for the crazy ideas that people have saying it's bad for you. None of the ingredients in the vitamin K shot are dangerous or harmful. I looked it up, and I didn't look it up on ChatGPT, which makes mistakes. I looked it up actually on PubMed and using Consensus and a whole bunch of other apps to make sure there is no reports other than the benzyl alcohol causing local irritation of any harm. So then people said, oh, it causes hyperbilirubinemia. I looked that up too. Exceedingly rare, no causal association ever proven whatsoever in the entirety of the scientific literature. So then people said, well, what about the side effects of cancer? It's associated with leukemia. You're killing babies. No, they disproved that in several studies years ago when it was first brought up, and people realized it's simply not true. There is no association between vitamin K administration and any form of cancer. Zero. Why is it given IM? That's a good question. And the answer is because babies don't absorb it orally. I already explained that to you. It's not good through the gut. They can't absorb it through their gut. Despite all the crazy people that said babies are made perfect, babies' guts don't work perfectly when they're first born. If anyone that's had a baby that's got a lot of stomach acid or is a puker early on in life, we all know their stomachs don't work great. And as a result of that, they can't absorb the oral formulations very well. You have to give them a lot more, and that won't protect them early on in the first 24 hours because they're born deficient. So we have to give it IM. And actually, the oral is so not good that you need to supplement extra oral later on for patients that are breastfeeding because the baby's still not getting enough vitamin K from the breastfeeding. Okay, so even if you're a breastfeeding mom and you're doing your best for your baby, and God bless you, we want you to breastfeed. I support that 1,000,000%. Okay, way better than formula, totally different discussion altogether. You're not giving your baby enough vitamin K, no matter how hard you try, no matter how much you supplement, because they've tried that too. You're not going to give your baby enough vitamin K. If you take it while you're pregnant, you're not going to get it to the baby because it doesn't go through the placenta. They've studied that too. It just doesn't work. Okay. Why is this all important? Well, we actually talked about the risks for the baby: bleeding in any type of surgical procedure, bleeding at circumcision, bleeding from the baby's head, which causes a stroke. So everybody's like, well, it's not that often. You quoted really low numbers. In 40 reports of individual cases and case series, they collected 1,486 babies. Okay, this is readily available. I'll give you all the references if you want. These were all kids that had vitamin K dependent bleeding who did not receive vitamin K because their parents elected not to give them the vitamin K. Prepare yourself for these statistics before you jump out there and start telling me I need to lose my license because I'm supporting giving babies vitamin K. These are babies that did not get vitamin K and had a vitamin K dependent bleed. 305 of 1,486 babies died. 20.5%, they're dead. Okay. So for all those of you that said, I need to go to hell and I need to have my license revoked, I hope each and every one of you is standing over the graves of those innocent babies, praying for them, praying for their souls, because the unhinged response is you decided no one should have this. We should tell everybody that they shouldn't get it. No, you're misinforming people. You're absolutely misinforming people. Okay. Another 146 of the babies, 9.8%, had permanent neurological sequelae, including hemiparesis, which means half their body is paralyzed, seizures or developmental delay. And for those of you that think that was only in undeveloped countries, the same study was done in the US and 9% of the babies died. So for all those of you that thought that you know everything from reading a Google article or asking ChatGPT to tell you the evidence and then screaming at me and everybody else about how criminal we are and that we're on the take, I'd like to elucidate several points. First and foremost, I'm Canadian. I don't get paid for giving babies vitamin K. I've never been paid for giving babies vitamin K. There's no billing code, there's no fee code, there's no reward, there's no hospital bonus, there's no insurance company kickback. I don't get paid in any shape, way, or form for giving babies vitamin K. We don't get that. Okay? So stop telling me I'm doing it for money. I'm not doing it for money. I get no benefit other than protecting babies, which is my God given job. So that's number one. Number two, the scientific evidence is there. So please stop making up information and telling people that it's got this, that, and the other thing. The one person said it had animal and human DNA. She was talking about vaccines. She subsequently, after 10 different responses to me, acknowledged that she wasn't talking about vitamin K. She was actually talking about vaccines, which I wasn't talking about at all. So stop going with the unhinged responses. Stop overreacting. Think before you write. Stop misinforming people. Next, I am personally, and I can speak for Tarek as well because he is my best friend and I know him well. We are both profoundly religious people, very religious. Okay. I am not looking to harm anybody. Someone said they hope that every penny I made from every person that I ever treated was marked on my soul. I do too. I absolutely hope that every penny from every patient I've ever made money on is marked on my soul because I want to be responsible for what I do. I want to answer to God for my actions. I feel that it's absolutely important and integral to every human being's life to be answerable, responsible for every single decision they make and every single action that they commit. And finally, for all those of you that think that you are getting proper information by reading chat or Google or some other poster's information, I would like to refer you to the wonderful, the amazing, can you screen share?
Yeah, one sec.
Dr. Jessica Nurek. Okay. She is an amazing person with brilliant articles. And I'm going to show you her post. Hopefully, we got some volume here. I'm going to try and get the volume up and running for you. Okay. So here we go. You ready?
Ready, I think.
Is there volume? Yeah. Why is there no volume?
Here.
Yeah. So here's the problem with this, okay? You guys are all trying really hard to believe what you want to believe. And you're listening to this kind of nonsense, which is actually just flagrantly made up. And then you're saying, no, I know what I'm talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. The same person that said to me that I should have my license removed didn't even know what salt was. Salt, like sodium chloride salt, which is absolutely fundamental to all human function, okay? Or sodium phosphate, which is also integral. You can't come on to these discussions in these chats and start screaming and shouting at totally innocent doctors who are trying their best to provide people with information, saying that we're criminals, we're on the take, we don't know what we're talking about, when you guys have absolutely no medical background or training or knowledge and are listening to some unhinged other lunatic who has provided you with false information. Now, what you do with your life and your baby is 100% up to you. And I support that every patient should be properly informed and make an appropriate decision for themselves. 1,000,000%. You have the right to make a decision for yourself, for your children, for your family, whatever you want. That's on you. Okay? Well, my job as a doctor is to provide people with the right information, the scientific facts to make a good decision. Whether you choose to make that right decision or you choose to make the wrong decision, that's on you. I'm not responsible for your decisions one bit, but I am responsible to provide you with good information. So if you choose to come on my site and insult me or insult other people that are writing appropriate stuff on my account, or you're trying to spread misinformation because you're uneducated, I apologize, but I am going to challenge you, and I'm going to ask you to provide proof, and I'm going to take you to task if you say stuff that's nonsensical, because I have a God-given and license-given obligation to protect people, and I'm not going to let crazy nonsense go on my account where people are making false, fraudulent, ill-informed, misguided, intentional or otherwise claims that are going to harm people, especially when we are talking about babies. So thank you for listening to my rant. If you need articles, I'm more than happy to provide them to you. The majority of this came from one article in Pediatrics from 2020. Anybody that wants it, you can DM me. I will send you the article and all the references that you need. There were some other ones I used as well. Please, for the love of God, stop jumping on, screaming about stuff that you don't understand, making all sorts of false claims, and impugning someone that genuinely cares about people. I don't make money for vitamin K, not one penny ever in my entire life. I don't get anything for it. You know what I get for it? The personal satisfaction of seeing all the babies that I've helped create or deliver being well and growing up without a freaking stroke. I'm going to leave it there.
Great.
I kind of feel it. You know, if this mic wasn't so expensive, I'd do drop the mic thing.
Drop and walk.
Oh my God. Like unhinged people responding. Unhinged. They're just all like, la, 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 and I don't get it.
A lot of applause. people like you today. People normally like you. Let me say about that. People are expressing their love. I'm so happy. This is my daily life. Thank you, Rahi. You know, you're the man.
I stayed up till midnight or 1 every night this week responding to people.
Yeah, I saw it.
And it's not even just this, okay? There was an Australian doctor who did a post. I got a post on that one too, where she started the post. It starts with being induced automatically makes you high risk. And I was like, oh, I can't handle this. And I'm not going to lie, I was already a bit riled up from all the people that were responding negatively for the vitamin K post. So I said, that's factually not true. You can't say that to people. It absolutely doesn't make you high risk. So 15 posts later, she's still arguing with me that there are guidelines that show this and guidelines that show that, and that you're doing this and you're doing that, and you have to do continuous monitoring and that. And I said, none of those make you high risk. I've delivered over 15,000 babies. 15,000, okay? It's a lot of babies. None of those things make you high risk. I know what's high risk. I've lived it and breathed it for the last 20 something years. I know what a high risk pregnancy is. I know what high risk labor is. I know what a high risk patient is. There is nothing about an induction of labor that makes the patient high risk in and of itself. And you don't always need oxytocin as part of an induction of labor. But this person kept arguing, saying, no, it's high. And I said, no, it's absolutely not high risk. Why are they saying this? Because along with some other team of people, they're selling a course that they auto responded me to when I put up my comment saying, we're really sorry, the tickets are all sold out, but you can sign up for next time. And they actually said that they're selling these tickets so that you can learn about intuitive birth. Yeah, great. You want to have an intuitive birth and you think your body knows what to do and you want it all natural. I personally support you 1 billion %. I think it's wonderful. Great. Go for it. But don't tell people that induction is making you high risk, because that's total BS. So we need to kind of tone down the fantasy land where people think that being on social media and listening to some kook who comes up with facts is actually making them medically qualified to then advise other people. And just in case you all need like an extra little level or layer of reminder, if you provide medical advice to other people and you're not a physician, you're actually committing an illegal act. That's considered fraud. You are impersonating a doctor. If you don't have a medical background like the salt girl, you're not qualified to provide medical advice. So don't. Anyways, let's answer questions about vitamin K or anything else. Just for the love of God, don't ask me about vaccines tonight. I am way too on fire to respond rationally to that one. Yeah.
Woo! Just so you know. Great.
Thank you.
Everyone thought you did great just now.
You know what?
All your fans are cheering you on.
Very angry. Yeah. And it takes a lot to get me angry because I'm a typical Middle Eastern. Oh, I shouldn't say that.
It's the opposite.
Yeah. Yeah. So growing up, I had what many people would call a stereotypical Middle Eastern male temper. And I was 13 years old and my mom freaking grounded me for the entire summer, the whole summer. Wasn't allowed to do anything. She said, "You are not growing up like that. You're going to grow up calm." And ever since then, I think of myself as an extraordinarily calm person. And I don't get angry about anything pretty much. But I got pretty riled up about this because people are telling me I should go to hell for stuff I didn't even do. And then I'm on the take, which I am not.
I love being on the take. The take is a good one. You're on the take.
I'm on the take. Yeah. Yeah. I'm being paid by Big Pharma.
All right. You ready? You ready to answer questions? Is this what we're going to do now? Or you got more?
You know, my heart rate's up.
I bet.
I'm like riled up. Yeah. Okay, I'm ready.
Everyone's calling you spicy today. Just
spicy.
So you know.
I'm
You're hot tonight.
I'm spicy tonight. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Let's go. You know, there was just so much compliments you got, just so you know. You know what I mean?
Well, thank you. I definitely am riled up.
So going to just the fertility questions now.
Yeah, let's go to fertility questions.
Okay. We'll start on TikTok.
Yeah.
This question deserves our response for sure.
Okay.
It says, "Hi, Dr. T."
There you go.
Great start.
Yeah, good start.
And then brackets.
Yeah.
Dr. V.
Yeah, I got it. Okay, yeah. I'm being demoted now. Yeah.
So
at least you didn't tell me I should go to hell.
No. Still super polite. Super polite.
Yeah.
So the question is, if husband has 2.5 morphology,
yeah,
natural preg unlikely, does ICSI overcome this?
Actually, whoever told you that natural pregnancy is unlikely made a mistake. You can still get pregnant naturally. That's not great, but it doesn't invalidate your ability to get pregnant naturally. ICSI should definitely help because we can pick the normal sperm, but do you have to turn to ICSI? No. You can do normal IVF, conventional as we call it, or you could just try and get pregnant on your own. If that's the only parameter that's out, of course. I don't know the rest of the parameters.
I don't know if I should ask this question or not, but should all immediate family members get the Tdap if they aren't current?
I'm just going to stick to the guidelines now because it's too much hassle to get into anything else. And even my own nurses got mad at me. So the guidelines state that you are safer to get the Tdap vaccination. And for those of you that are worried about the contents of the Tdap vaccination, there is absolutely zero evidence that maternal Tdap vaccination causes any adverse outcome to mom or baby. Now, can some women have an allergic reaction? Yes. Can you get febrile reactions? Yes. Are there going to be people that have some kind of bad reaction? Of course there are. It's being used in millions and millions of people. When you have numbers that big, something bad's going to happen to somebody. But as a general population health use is very, 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 very safe. And it will prevent babies from developing pertussis, which can lead to 13 per million of them needing to go to hospital and 1 per million of them dying. So do I want to protect that one baby? You damn right I do. Of course I do. Do I think the math makes sense? Of course not. I mean, it's idiotic, right? Who wants to vaccinate 999,999 people unnecessarily? That's crazy. So I wish we had a better way of doing this. But until we have a better way of doing it, why wouldn't we protect one baby? I mean, like it's a shot and it's harmless. Take the shot. And for people that think it's causing autism, did you know that the rise in organic food sales, right? So these are the same people that are claiming autism is being caused by vaccines. organic food sales exactly mirrors the rise in autism. So the rise in organic food sales precisely follows the exact same rise in autism. So does glyphosate exposure. And for the other unhinged, we got to make a post about this too. I saved it. The other unhinged part, bad diet. Some guy said on Instagram yesterday or the day before yesterday that a diet high in fat and red meat.
Oh yeah, I saw that. I shared that. I sent that to you.
Reduces autism. Right. Total BS. Total BS. Absolute nonsense. Drivel. JAMA study, the Journal of the American Medical Association, clearly proves that having a diet higher in red meat and fat increases the baby's risk of developing autism. So please, for the love of God, get your information somewhere where it's actually accurate. Like us.
I'm on the all beef diet. That's all I eat. Just meat all day, every day.
We actually had a good meal tonight.
What
was that place called? Rose City
Grill.
Rose City Grill.
Grill. Tried it out.
The meat was
it was
a little chewy,
there was moments.
The taste was good.
Yeah. Sure. Oh, yeah. Hey, doctors.
Yeah, you love this. Yeah,
I come here for a boost in self-esteem. You know what I mean? I go home, got destroyed. I come here, I feel whole again. Male factor infertility.
Yeah.
How many IUIs before IVF?
Depends on the woman's age. Less than 38, 3, or 6, or up to 6. You don't have to do 6, but up to 6, because after that it's a 0% chance. And over 38, they recommend 3, because after that it's a 0% chance. It's from a very large Chinese study. We reviewed it on the show years ago. I can't even remember when.
Hi, Dr. T.
Look at your face.
Can't say no to this. I feel guilty. My husband has NOA.
Non-obstructive azoospermia. Yeah.
There you go. And failed MTES. MTESE.
Oh, microtessie.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He has early maturation arrest.
Yeah.
Does HCG and RFSH help?
No. It won't help. I'm really sorry. That's awful.
All right. Switching it up to Facebook, YouTube. What dose of ALA, NAC, resveratrol, CoQ10, and curcumin, and whatever else you do, recommend for endometriosis patients? Is resveratrol shown to have benefits for egg quality or just calming the endo?
No, it's just for calming the endo. Okay, NAC, 1,000 to 1,500. Coenzyme Q10, 600, depending on which formulation you're using. If you're using Neo Q10, it's just 125. Curcumin, it depends on the formulation. We use 60 milligrams, but it depends on which formulation you're using. I've heard much higher doses. You're going to do ALA at 600, and you're going to 600 milligrams, and resveratrol is anywhere from about 1,000 to 1,200. It's on our endo protocol, which is widely published.
It's the best thing since sliced bread, that endo protocol.
We had another person I've never heard of before or spoken to before say, I used your endo protocol and I got pregnant. Thank you so much. We get one of those every single day.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Hey, doctors. It's just brilliance at this point. Is Advil contraindicated for 2-second FET if I've had a miscarriage from a large subchronic hematoma? Let you go for that one.
Huh? Is Advil contraindicated for a second FET if you previously had a miscarriage? Advil's contraindicated in pregnancy. You can't use it around an FET. So don't use it at all. It's totally contraindicated.
That's what I wanted to tell them, But I figured I'd let you answer that.
Yeah, no.
It wouldn't be polite otherwise. It wouldn't be the thing I would do.
No non-steroidal anti-inflammatories. You got to avoid those at all costs. Use Tylenol.
Use Tylenol. Tylenol's good. Baby Tylenol.
Oh, we're going to get something about that now, too. And then I'm going to have to go dig into all that research as well. Like literally days of my life just looking up vitamin K. I mean, come on, people, for God's sake. Just all these unhinged, uneducated, she didn't even know what salt was. How do you deal with that? I would, for any of you who are yourselves social media people. Like I'm very low in the social media scale. I realize that. But for any of you who actually have big accounts, can somebody please explain to me how you deal with the frustration of the comments from people that have literally no clue what they're talking about whatsoever at all and feel like they can pontificate on your channel or post or whatever about stuff that they're absolutely wrong about. Like it's actually frustrating, and I don't get frustrated very easily. Anyways, it's probably going to take me like a solid week to come down from this one. What's next?
Well, technical difficulties appears to be next. TikTok went black for a second.
Oh,
bear with me. Bear with me. I think.
Do you want me to look it up on our channel?
No, I don't want.
Please don't tell me the whole thing fell apart.
No, the whole thing did not fall apart just yet. But oh, not the right window. It's opening a window. What is it opening? So all my tabs are getting open. This is hilarious. Okay, do we? What on earth is going on here? Sorry, guys.
Are we live?
Oh, of course you're live.
Okay.
Why wouldn't you be live? They can hear us, so.
All right.
But they're just watching the.
Because I'm not seeing me live on.
On what? No, you're live. You're 100% live.
Instagram.
Okay, I'll give you a question.
Yeah, give me a question.
I'll just give you a question while I. Sorry, guys. I do apologize. When is your Woodstock clinic opening? There you
go. We think in about a month. Yeah, a little slower than planned, but about a month.
Okay, that was really fast. Thanks for doing that to me. My cycle day 3 labs are good. Husband SA is good. On cycle 3 TTC after MMC.
Okay, is that a question? It's just a statement.
That's what I got. I'm just reading them.
That's just a statement. I can't answer anything.
Oh my God.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Yeah.
There you go. Doctor.
Yeah.
I'm 42, AMH 1.76. I have secondary hypopituitary. 2 rounds of IVF, poor outcomes. Thoughts?
Well, at that age, your egg yield is going to be low. I'm not sure what the units are for your AMH, but it's either very low or lowish, depending on which units you're using. And so it's a matter of finding the right protocol for you. And you have to know the math, right? So if you're 1.8 picograms, nanograms per mil, you can still make quite a few eggs. If you're nanomoles per liter, you're not making very many at all. In which case, that's a whole other story, or picomoles per liter. So if you're in that lower number, that's going to be difficult to make a lot of eggs. And so you're going to have a lot of challenges and difficulties.
Your beautiful face has returned.
Oh, thank you. Nothing beautiful about it. It's my angry face now. I'm just
better than a black screen, I'll tell you that much.
Like literally.
Better than a black screen and a bunch of stress on my shoulder. All right, here we go. I'm sweating bullets now. Hi, doctors. Sure, we'll go with that question.
Yeah.
Is there any risk to taking antibiotics during the 3rd month prior to retrieval to treat bacteria found from fertility testing? Does it harm egg quality?
Not that anybody has ever shown in any study that I am aware of. No.
Okay. Do you recommend testing for IGF-1 to decide whether it makes sense to add Omnitrope to my protocol?
No. So none of this, that's a great question, actually. It's a really good question. None of the original studies actually looked at measuring IGF-1, so I don't do it. I don't think it's harmful to do it, and it probably does make sense on some level, but none of the studies have ever supported doing that. So, yeah.
Okay. Instagram, our dear friends on Instagram. I have a vaginal swab before an FET showing no clue cells, but intermediate BV.
Okay. Before an FET?
Before an FET, correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
Neogen score 5. Should I cancel my FET taking anti and probiotics already for 14 days?
Yeah, definitely cancel. You're getting pregnant in a milieu of bacteria that want to attack and kill your embryo, and you have no idea what's in your uterus. So that's why we use Fertility. But yeah, don't continue with that. That would be lunacy.
Hey, Dr. VNT.
Still cool, man.
Thinking of
doctor by association.
It's all right. I'll take that. Anything by association is good.
Yeah. It's all good.
Why do you recommend suppression after a lap? Well, that's why they're asking you, because I don't necessarily recommend that. But even if every microscopic cell isn't removed, shouldn't the odds be much better with the vast majority excised?
Yeah, the odds should be way better with the vast majority incised or excised, and that's a great point. But my patients and me aren't looking for vastly better. We're looking for as close to perfect as you can get it. So the question isn't, are you good with just excision? The question is, will you be better with suppression and excision? And the answer is, of course you will, because then you're shutting down all the endo as much as possible. So that's why we do it. Is it mandatory? No. I actually had a lovely conversation with a patient today. And there was a comment on Instagram that I can't find again because I wanted to respond to it, but as part of one of the crazy vitamin K things. So here's the thing. The patient said, will you still allow me to do this part of the protocol? And it was actually for stimulation. If I don't want to do everything. And it was in regards to priming. So for us, for DOR priming or people that haven't done well before, we use human growth hormone, we use testosterone, we use DHEA. And she said, well, I'm really worried about the side effects of the testosterone and the DHEA. And I said, listen, and I say this to everybody, including laboring patients, obstetrical patients, patients that want vitamin K, patients that want vaccine, whatever. You're in charge. My job is to educate you as best as I can with the amount of knowledge that I have, to offer you the options that you should be aware of, and then to support you through whatever decision you make. And that's the way we do things here at VRC. We educate you, we give you all your options, and we support you through your decision. I'm not going to push you. I'm not going to shove you. I'm not going to sway you, persuade you, coerce you, nothing. None of that goes on here. We just say, here's what you can do. Here's what we recommend. What would you like to do? So if you want to take my endo protocol and you want to tear it apart and you just want resveratrol and ALA and you want double progesterone, but you don't want to get your levels measured and you like the intralipids, but you don't want to be steroids and tacrolimus, great, go for it. Like, we'll do whatever you want. But I am going to recommend what's best. You get to do whatever you like because that's the whole nature of autonomy. And I do believe in people having autonomy, which is why even if someone doesn't want something that I know is critical for them or for their baby, I'm not going to force it on them. I had a lady once upon a time who needed an emergency cesarean section because the baby's heart rate was just crashing. And she said, no, I don't want a cesarean section. And the nurse is like, what do we do? I'm like, well, I said, I've explained it to her. She understands the risks. I've told her point blank the baby could die or be permanently brain damaged. If you are willing to take that risk, I'm not going to strap you down to the table and cut the kid out of you. You're responsible for your decisions. You have to live with the consequences. Have at her. I'm good with that.
Have at her.
Yeah. Same thing with every single person that wants to refuse vaccines and vitamin K.
That's how it goes. What did you call it? Autonomy? Autonomy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
like
pros and cons.
I get it. Some people feel very strongly about stuff, but that's on you.
Do you?
You do you.
Hi, doctor. See, I also like that one because, maybe it's you, maybe it's me.
You.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah.
I'm planning to do my third round of IVF.
Okay.
What are the things to consider to check this time? Thank you. I actually even have a thought for the answer.
Fire.
Okay.
I'm super curious.
Yeah. So, assuming you're going to the same place, watch this answer. This is pretty good. They should actually be telling you what they should be doing different this time. And the fact that it appears that you're uncertain means that, you should obviously be here, but I'm not going to say that bluntly. But it's a very good question to ask. And the best part of that question is the fact that you should be asking your doctor right now, unless it's obviously Dr. Victory, which is why he has to show. But you should be asking your doctor, I've done 3 so far. What happened? Why didn't it go good? And what do we do to make it better? That's my initial.
You need a mic drop.
I didn't. It's pretty good, right?
Yeah, that was a good answer.
I'm learning, man. Yeah. I'm learning.
I agree with everything Tarek said. I would want to know what happened before, what can they change to go better, why did it not work out well, and then make appropriate changes. If you don't make changes, you're just doing the same thing over and over again. And that's called the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome. So, scientifically, there is evidence that you can actually repeat the same thing over and over again and expect to eventually get enough embryos. But in my playbook, I always want to do better for you. I never want to just get the same result. I want to tweak, I want to adjust, I want to make it better. Because if I can get from one euploid embryo to two euploid embryos, that's huge. So why wouldn't we do that? Why wouldn't we optimize every piece? So things I would ask are, what went wrong? What are we changing or doing better? And what do you understand, or what did you glean or learn from what we just went through? Don't tell me I spent $12,000 for you to say just try again, because just try again doesn't educate the patient. What went wrong? How many eggs did I get? What was the quality of my eggs? Was my sperm okay? Does my husband have to change something, or my partner? Do we need better sperm? Do we need better eggs? Acupuncture, yoga, vitamins, supplements, weight loss. Like, there's so many things that go into this. So it's not just about, jumping into something without thinking about it. Do not ever go anywhere where they tell you just try again. That's absurd. No clinic should ever say that. Every clinic should sit down with you and say, this is what happened. This is what we learned. This is what we would tweak next time. I always sit down with the actual stim sheet and go through it line by line with the patient and say, this is how many eggs you made. This was the dose you were on. This is what we were anticipating. This is what we got. Here's what happened from there. Here's how many eggs fertilized. Here's how they develop. Like, you got to inform patients. It's a dialogue. It goes both ways. It's not, hey, I'm going to tell you what to do. Go do another cycle. That's ridiculous. Patients deserve better than that. Right?
Hey man, I'm a student of knowledge. You are my sensei, my master in this field. I'm just going with it.
I'm no one's master. Although I do think I schooled a couple of those people.
Oh yeah, I'll be honest. The beginning video that we did on vitamin K today, just brilliantly done. Like it's got everything it needs. It's just fantastic. To be honest, and everyone thinks so. Like, the comments are, I've never read such great, like, you always get good comments and friendly comments and nice comments, but long overdue.
Unhinged. That's all I can say. Unhinged. People just come apart at the seams. You say something controversial, like about, vaccines, and there's so much misinformation out there. Everybody's just going cuckoo.
Everyone's going cuckoo. Yeah, unfortunately. No cereal.
Organic foods. No cereal. Autism. They parallel, but no, it's the vaccine. Oh, come on. Like, get a grip, people. You have no medical training.
What type of doctor is Dr. T?
A doctor of social media. He is not actually a doctor. That's why at the beginning of the show, you'll always see
people wanted to book appointments with me after my answer. Like, let me see this guy.
He likes being called Dr. T. Just so we don't get into any trouble. My dear friend Tariq Ibrahim does not have a doctorate in medicine. Or do you have a PhD in anything?
No,
not yet. Maybe we'll work on one for you someday. But he is very knowledgeable, because the poor guy, I wanted to say poor bastard, has been sitting.
Well, he said it anyway.
Yeah, has been sitting next to me for 4 hours every Tuesday night from 5 till 9, sometimes 9:30, 10, talking about this stuff, making videos, watching me read the science, talking to him about it, going through all the Instagram posts, many of which he creates himself. So yeah, it's
and then don't forget, we edit the videos so that I'm forced to watch reiterations.
Yeah.
So some subjects I could just give your line. Yeah. I could just be you.
He's a sponge. I am excited to say there's lots of changes happening at VRC. We are growing. There's interest from various parties. I'm not going to get into specifics. I did have a lovely phone call tonight. There's some things that'll be happening. So maybe there's a bright future out there for all those people that are waiting to see me, who may not have to wait quite as long to see a VRC. Doctor.
Doctor of the Soul is what I was given as a title.
Doctor of the Soul. You know what?
Not bad. Not bad.
Yeah, maybe you can examine my soul and see how many marks I have on it from the people I apparently.
These are called war wounds, right? Don't worry. These are badges of pride.
So I said to that lady that made all those comments, I hope you guys check out that vitamin K post. It's actually quite funny.
Some people are wondering, where's the vitamin K talk? Because they just tuned in now. They're like, hey, I thought this was about vitamin K today.
Yeah. So for those of
you
go
back 30 minutes.
Yeah, go back 30 minutes. So for those of you that follow us on Instagram, go look at the vitamin K post. So this person screamed about all this stuff that she said was in vitamin K. And then I said, that's not in vitamin K. Not a single one of those is in vitamin K. Like literally none of those are in vitamin K. And then I said, she said, well, I'm talking about vaccines. And I said, well, can you start by apologizing for the fact that you told me I should be having every penny that I never made marked on my soul after you egregiously weren't talking about vitamin K. You were talking supposedly now about vaccines. Once you realize you're wrong, maybe you need to actually own that and say, you know what? I screwed up. I'm really sorry. I'm an idiot. Oh no.
No, you're not getting that.
That's not happening.
You're not getting that. Yeah. That's quite optimistic.
That'll come after we do the mean tweets.
Yeah, because we're going to call them out.
I'm going to blank out the name.
I'm going to call them out.
Because I don't want to get anybody in trouble, including myself.
Well, don't forget, it is commented.
We got to do mean tweets.
Well, it's a comment. So everyone can see the comments.
Yeah, we got to do
that. I think they...
Mean tweets is legend, man. Like,
100%.
The stuff people said was just...
Here's a great question for you. They're all great questions, but this starts off so powerful that I felt like it deserves...
Oh, here's one already.
Here we go. Don't worry. Let me give you a better...
The Tdap vaccine causes preterm birth.
There you go.
How much evidence is there for that? Zero. So for the person that said that the Tdap vaccine causes preterm birth, there is zero evidence to support that assertion. Zero. How many women get the Tdap vaccine? Probably 70, 80% of pregnant mothers. What's the rate of preterm birth? It's 10%. Do the math. I mean, hopefully you're capable of doing that.
There you go. Shots fired. Shots fired. Do the math if you can do the math.
The best was that guy that said basically, let the people that don't want to get vaccinated not vaccinate because that was hysterical.
Let the population go.
Yeah.
I assure you those people can't do the math. I agree. They probably can't. Anyways, a great question for you, Dr. V. It starts off with the best intro ever, Dr. T.
There you go.
That's it. If endo patient, like just straight into it.
I love it.
If patient is against laparoscopy and lupron suppression, what protocol would you recommend? Natural versus medicated? If medicated, what protocol?
Well, I would still recommend a letrozole protocol because it's going to keep your estrogen levels low, assuming you have endo. So if you have endo, you want it, even if you don't, it's actually the best protocol. So letrozole protocol, double progesterone, measure your levels, take the supplements and vitamins. That's your best approach. And the immune therapy if you're willing to accept that. Yeah. I got to read one of these mean tweets. I know we're going to do.
You're going to spoil from the show.
I know, but
people are going to love seeing it.
I know, but I got to
share.
I just got to read this one.
Sharing is caring.
I got to share this one.
Share.
So this is the response to my vitamin K. Okay, here we go. This is the author responding to me. You, meaning me, clearly have no idea what you're talking about either, because it's not the vitamin K people are worried about. It's the 65 other poisonous ingredients inside of it. Stop lying to people's faces.
Bam.
And when I tried to explain that none of the ones that they said are in there, that's when she pointed out that it had salt. I can't even say it without cracking up. It's insane. There's so many. There were 700 comments. I'm like, my fingers are sore. I got to learn.
Dedication.
I got to learn from Carly how she manages this. Like, it's a full to Carly and Sabrina. Like,
there's some.
Congratulations, Sabrina. We love you. Yeah.
A question regarding C-section.
Yeah. Oh, hey, good stuff. Bring it. As long as it's not unhinged.
What is the limits about having a C-section without having complications?
3. So after you've had 3 C-section, the risk of a morbidly adherent placenta, so it's stuck to the uterus and it won't detach, starts to really increase. Depends on which study you read, anywhere from 5% to 25%, but it's substantial. Plus placenta previa is higher. So 3 is the upper limit where you're starting to see a rise in complications.
Really? There's a number?
Oh yeah. They got like a graph. Like here's the number of C-sections, here's the rise in complications. It's this.
Oh.
It's a ski hill, right? Like it's going up.
Not a kind of ski hill you want to go on.
No. Speaking of ski hills, we got to go skiing
Tell
again
me
at some
about it.
point.
Tell me about
That
it.
was so fun.
My entire family is actually, well, except for the wife, but all the kids are like, hey, the snow's going soon and we didn't go skiing yet. They're getting nervous.
We got to go.
Can you use a vitamin K supplement if you aren't comfortable with the adjuvantis use of the vitamin K? Adjuvants?
Yeah.
They spelled it wrong. Adjuvants used in the vitamin K shot. Well, Dr. Victory?
No.
Should we go for round 2?
No, you can't. So first of all, the adjuvants in vitamin K, I already explained, they're completely harmless. Let me repeat that so that everyone hears it. They are completely harmless. The adjuvants in vitamin K are not harmful to the baby. That's number one. Number two, they've studied this extensively, including in Europe where they didn't want to give shots to the babies. So they tried it oral and it didn't work. So they went back to doing shots. So please, for the love of God, stop being worried about vitamin K. You want to vaccinate your baby or don't vaccinate your baby? Go ahead, be my guest. The number needed to treat for prevention of pertussis death is 1 in a million. So you've got to treat 1 million people to save one baby. Okay? I still think we should do it. I'm going to say that because I want everybody to hear me say that. But that's the number. It's staggering. Okay. I wish we had a better way. I've already specified that as well. However, the number needed to treat for vitamin K to prevent one episode of severe vitamin K deficiency bleeding is 74. 1 out of every 74 babies will end up with some kind of vitamin K deficient bleeding episode. So with that number in mind, that's roughly 1.25%. That's a lot of freaking babies, people. Okay? That's 13 per 1,000 babies that are going to have a bleeding complication. That's a lot of babies. Is that something we should be looking at seriously? Yes, of course. Because like I just told you, 20.5% of those babies that didn't get the vitamin K died. So please, stop worrying about the adjuvants of vitamin K. They're harmless. You're literally giving your baby more toxins through your breast milk than you are from the vitamin K shot.
Anything left to be said about vitamin K?
I don't know.
Have we put it to bed?
But I
think we got to put it to bed.
I want you to clip that clip.
Oh, that'll be clipped for sure. Into the world. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Fabulous T, which
Fabulous
is me.
T. Yeah.
Awesome
that is
Dr.
You.
V, which is you. At 42, thoughts on freezing at day 3 and transferring everything. My clinic said what I should do.
Well, that's a great position. So the question is, excuse me, should you transfer at day 3 because the survival is better up to day 3, and skip the whole PGT thing, praying that some of your embryos are normal, or should you not and wait for the PGT test and see if the embryos are normal or not? And my answer to that is, it doesn't matter what you're doing now. That decision that you need to make is based on what you would do next. So if you failed and said, I'm just going to keep trying till it works, yeah, freeze on day 3 and transfer, or don't even freeze. Transfer natural if you're not making a lot of eggs, or freeze and then thaw and transfer day 3, whatever. All great, right? Because you don't care. You're just going to keep going until it works. Totally reasonable to take that approach. But on the flip side, if you said, wow, I've done 3 rounds and I never even made a euploid embryo, it's time for me to go down the donor egg route, well, then you need to know. And you're not going to know if you're freezing on day 3 why it's not working. So you don't decide based on what's happening in this cycle. You decide based on what your next step is going to be, hypothetically based on what happens in this cycle. So if you said to yourself, I'm never going to do donor, I'm only trying me, yeah, sure, do day 3. But if you said, no, like if this doesn't work after 2 tries or 3 tries or whatever number of tries is good for you, I'm going to donor, you're going to want to know how soon you should go to donor so you're not wasting money. And for that, you need to know the genetics of your embryos. Because if 42, 80 to 85% of them are going to be genetically not normal.
Just want to echo a question about the MRI.
MRI?
Wondering if it's any benefit to doing an MRI without contrast for suspected endo. Thanks.
So MRIs for endo show somewhere in the neighborhood of about an 80% sensitivity for detecting endometriosis in the absence of an endometrioma. So if they say you've got it, great, you probably have it. But if they say you don't have it, you got a 1 in 5 chance you've still got it.
Mm-hmm.
So is that useful for you? No, not in my opinion. And it takes a real expert to figure that out. 9 o'clock. I'm sure it was a busy show because I was so riled up. But you want to give people a couple extra minutes since I was ranting? You good?
I'm here, man.
Yeah, I got nowhere to go. My wife abandoned me. She's
the only thing I have to do is to see if Paradise is on.
Oh, are we watching together or are you going home? Or you're watching with the wife?
I'm watching with the wife.
I got to feed the kitties too. All right, go for it. Ask me a couple of
questions. We can't have fun here.
Yeah.
I think it's an amazing topic to bring up, consideration the goal for us is happy, healthy babies. And he's a doctor who goes through pregnancy and birth with his patients. This is 1,000% appropriate. That's pretty good.
Thank you. I want to let me take a pause here to thank the individuals, including, I think it was Ashley Tilly or Tilly Ashley or something. Tilly William, something like that. Till Will. And there was a lovely resident, a nice little resident, and a couple of other people that got on there, including one lady who initially came out guns blazing, but then actually subsequently had a very lovely conversation with me offline, who's quite sweet. And we're talking about like induction of labor now and all this other stuff. So long story short, I want to thank the people that came out, not just to like defend what I was saying, but to just talk rationally. Like some people said, can you explain it to me? I want to know more about this. Yeah, great. I'm happy to tell you all of the constituents and adjuvants in vitamin K. And I'm happy to talk about the risks. I'm happy to talk about the benefits. And I'm happy to talk about the statistics all bloody day long. Okay. But for the people that came out screaming and shouting about how it's killing babies, I'm like, I can't say what I want to say, but it starts with grow the blank up. So, like, come on, guys. If you don't know what you're talking about, don't pretend science. Like, you're harming people. You're misinforming people. Just like that Patriot Barbie post that says that there's a study that shows that going on a diet that's special reduces autism risk, and then they sell you the constituents of that diet. It's just fake news. Mm. So what am I selling you when I tell you to take the vitamin K? Nothing. I don't get anything for it. Just like for all those people that said that about us, our endometriosis protocol, which is now world famous and works really, really, really well, we put out on our YouTube channel for everyone to use without ever even needing to talk to me, because I want people to do better for free, literally for free. Lots of lost income, I don't care, because I can go to sleep at night and answer to my God and say I did the right thing and I was a good person and I don't care about the money. So stop yelling and screaming about how we're all on the take. We're not all on the take. Yeah.
I'm going to end it with these last couple of comments. So just for you to enjoy these.
Okay? Yeah, that sounds great.
Thank you for speaking on this. This is all related to the vitamin K. Dr. Victory is profoundly amazing of a person and a doctor. Amen. Yes, thank you. Well spoken. You're the best. Thank you. Mic drop. We love you. Say it with your chest out, Dr. V.
Oh, that's really nice.
That's just some of them.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm not gonna.
I figured you'd like that.
I'm not gonna cry on television, but you know what? Thank you. I genuinely thank you. I am passionate about this because I love what I do. I love it with my heart and soul. I love everything about it. I love helping people, and I don't care if I don't make money at it. I've done it for free. We've helped loads of people for free. We continue helping people for free. I want everybody to just have a safer, more efficient, more effective journey. I don't want you pushed into anything. I don't want you forced into anything, but I do want you and your babies protected more than anything in the world. I want every mom and baby to be protected because that's what you deserve from us. That's what I trained for, to provide amazing care, amazing surgery, amazing knowledge. Like, if I'm not good at doing that, then I'm nothing. And I'm going to sign off on that.
I think you sign off on
I
that.
think I sign off on okay, next week, I don't know if we'll have a show because I'll be on my way back from the UK.
Oh, okay.
So we'll see what time I get back. But if I get back in time and I'm conscious, we'll do a show. And for those of you who are watching in the UK, there are still spots for consults on Sunday. So contact Lisa at drvictory.com, Lisa at drvictory.com. Ask for a consult. We will fill up some remaining spots and we will chit chat with you there and we can help you on your journey. And it's free. Again, I don't get to make a penny from it. So have a lovely day, guys. Enjoy your evening. Please go on the Vitamin K post and say something to all the lunatics. I would love some extra support there. I don't want to be doing it all on my own. Have a good night. Take care. I've lost my voice now from